The month of October is coming to a close, but a new week of CNN Student News is just getting started. Hello, everyone. I'm Carl Azuz. On Friday, we talked about a controversy surrounding the NSA, the U.S. National Security Agency. A lot of this goes back to a man named Edward Snowden. He was a contractor who worked for the NSA. Earlier this year, he leaked information about secret NSA programs. Snowden fled to Russia to avoid U.S. prosecution. The documents detailed how the U.S. intercepted and collected phone and email data of Americans. There have also been accusations of spying on foreign leaders. White House officials say the surveillance activities are necessary to combat threats against the U.S. and its allies. Lisa Monaco is an advisor to President Obama on issues of homeland security and counterterrorism. She says the president has ordered a review of government surveillance programs. Monaco says, quote, "We want to ensure that we are collecting information because we need it and not just because we can." But meanwhile, some members of Congress, both Democrats and Republicans, are speaking out against NSA programs. They're proposing a law to limit the amount of data the NSA can collect. This weekend, a protest outside the U.S. Capitol pushed for the same goal.
Organizers say this rally is significant because it's the largest one yet protesting mass surveillance by the NSA. And Edward Snowden, the whistleblower who opened up the entire controversy earlier this year, made a contribution to it. He provided a statement that was read by a representative at the rally. Take a listen.
We have not forgotten that the Fourth Amendment in our Bill of Rights prohibits government not only from searching our personal effects without a warrant, but from seizing them in the first place and doing so in secret. Holding to this principle, we declare that mass surveillance has no place in this country. It is time for reform. Elections are coming and we are watching you.
Now, it's important to note that these protesters were engaging over the domestic piece of this, data collection from the personal devices of private citizens here in the United States. Now, Hillary Clinton said in remarks on Friday night that she understands the frustration over this kind of intrusion and thinks there ought to be a bigger conversation about why the United States practices these kinds of techniques. Now, on a broader scale, the White House is also facing heat from other countries, especially our allies, over surveillance of foreign leaders, and they have tried to calm tensions over that.
See if you can ID me. I'm a geographic feature that covers more than 2 million square miles. I'm located in South America, and I share my name with one of the longest rivers in the world. I'm the Amazon rainforest, and I'm home to millions of plant and animal species.
That includes hundreds of newly discovered species. Over the past 4 years, scientists have been identifying different plants and animals in the Amazon. The World Wildlife Fund just put out a list of 441 new species from there that were unknown to scientists before now. The list includes 258 plants, like one with filaments that look like spaghetti, 84 fish, 58 amphibians, including a frog that's the size of a thumbnail, 22 reptiles, 18 birds, and 1 mammal. That would be this little guy. It's a monkey that scientists say purrs like a cat. You've also got a piranha, but it's a herbivore. It refuses to eat meat. And these lizards might have colorful heads, but their name comes from their shy nature and their tendency to hide under or between rocks. Just a few of the Amazon's incredible examples of biodiversity. 22 NFL teams took the field yesterday, but those National Football League games didn't all happen in the same nation. The San Francisco 49ers and Jacksonville Jaguars headed over to London. The teams faced off in Wembley Stadium, home of the England national soccer team. This wasn't the first NFL game in England this year. In fact, London's been hosting American football games since 2007. Yesterday, the 49ers got the W, beating up on the Jaguars 42-10. But the NFL is hoping that with these international games, the ultimate winners will be football and its fans outside the U.S.
I think that it would work out well here.
It would be pretty cool.
I think it is possible in the future.
We've heard favourable noises from players, coaches and even team owners as the success of the NFL's international series of games in London points to a full-time overseas franchise.
I think it is possible in the future. but I don't believe that I can predict that future today. What I can say is that we are doing 2 games this year, and it's completely sold out.
Which is why Wembley could be crucial to the NFL's expansion plans. Amid fears that revenues in America are reaching their peak, London is seen as a gateway to an exciting new European market.
They don't see it as 60 million Brits, but rather 400 million Europeans that they could be turning into NFL fans. When you think of it in terms of those sort of numbers, it's absolutely easy to understand why they want a presence here.
One key question is, can an NFL franchise in London sell out Wembley every game? In theory, people from all over Europe would come here, but crucially, a team would need to build a loyal fan base locally.
If you go back to that first game, the fans came from a very large area away from London. Each game that has gotten tighter and tighter, so that almost 80 to 90% of the fans are from the greater London area, which supports the idea that you could do something in the London area.
Even if there were enough fans, players may not want to move abroad, and the distance to London will be an issue. Even for East Coast franchises like the Patriots, Jets, Giants and Dolphins, it's a long road trip, with flights taking up to 8.25 hours. However, teams in the Super Rugby competition have successfully handled far longer distances. Cape Town to Auckland is a flight of more than 17.5 hours.
It basically is about drinking a lot of fluids on the flights, making sure that you sleep at the right time, and I'm sure that all sports science teams that are now consulting into the top sports teams would basically get a team very well prepared for that.
I think the travel thing would have to be something that'd be figured out, and maybe they could make a base in the northeast of the United States or something, but I think it could work.
It's time for the shout out. Wendell Scott was the first African American to win what? If you think you know it, then shout it out. Was it NFL MVP, NASCAR Premier Event, Cy Young Award, or Conn Smythe Trophy? You've got 3 seconds. Go. In 1963, Scott became the first African American to win a NASCAR Premier Series event. That's your answer, and that's your shout out.
Wendell Scott was the first African American to win a race at NASCAR's top level, and for 50 years, he was the only African American to win a National Series event. That is until this past weekend. NASCAR's World Truck Series hit Martinsville Speedway on Saturday, and that's where Darrell Wallace Jr. took home the checkered flag. Wallace is 20 years old. He's a graduate of NASCAR's Drive for Diversity program, which aims to give minorities opportunities in all aspects of the racing industry. NASCAR's chairman said that Wallace's win, quote, will be remembered as a remarkable moment in our sports history. The driver put it more succinctly on his Twitter account after the race: "We came, we saw, we conquered." We try to come up with themes for our roll call segments. Some days it happens quickly, other times, like today, it can be a real bear. And that's the theme, starting with the Bears from Manalapan Englishtown Middle School in New Jersey. Next, we're heading up to Hortonville, Wisconsin to check in with the Polar Bears from Hortonville High School. And out in Los Angeles, we've got the Kodiaks from Whitney High. There you go, a roll call theme brought to bear. There are 2 skills to master when it comes to eating stone crabs: how to crack the crab and how to pick it clean. People at this event needed to add a 3rd skill: speed. It's a stone crab claw eating contest. 25 claws cracked and consumed as fast as you can. There's 1 event for teams, 1 for individuals. The solo winner took down the 25 claws in just over 17.5 minutes. But hopefully all the contestants had a good time, so there's no claws for anyone to go home crabby. Hey, do you know what one male crab said to the other male crab when the female crab walked away? "She'll be back." That was a long way to go. Either way, we'll be back tomorrow with more CNN student news. See y'all then.